In the flickering candlelight of 14th century Portugal, a heartbroken prince ascended the throne, only to exhume his murdered lover's corpse, dress it in royal finery, and crown her queen. Nobles trembled as they kissed her skeletal hand, swearing fealty to the dead. This macabre act of undying love echoes through history, blurring the line between devotion and madness. What drove Pedro to such grim extremes? Welcome to GrimoryX, where shadows reveal forgotten horrors. Tonight, we unearth the tale of Pedro of Portugal and Inês de Castro, the king who made his wife's corpse a queen. In the turbulent 14th century, Portugal stood as a young kingdom, forged from reconquest wars against Moorish forces. King Afonso IV, a stern ruler known for his piety and prudence, navigated alliances with neighbouring Castile to secure his realm's borders. Yet beneath the facade of stability lurked tensions, rivalries between noble houses, whispers of foreign influence. What hidden threats loomed in the shadows of the court? As we delve deeper, the stage sets for a tragedy born of politics and passion. Prince Pedro, born in 1320, grew up amid the rigours of royal duty, trained in arms, schooled in strategy, his life a tapestry of expectation. As heir, he embodied hope for Portugal's future, yet his spirited nature hinted at unrest. In 1340, political necessity bound him in marriage to Constanza Manuel of Castile, a union forged in alliance, not affection. Did this arranged bond sow the seeds of rebellion? The court watched as duty clashed with desire. Constanza Manuel, daughter of a Castilian noble, arrived in Portugal with grace and duty etched in her bearing. Her marriage to Pedro sealed a fragile peace between kingdoms, but the union remained cool, dutiful. In her entourage came ladies-in-waiting, among them a Galician beauty whose presence would alter fates. As alliances strengthened on paper, personal storms brewed. Could this political match withstand the pull of forbidden hearts? The shadows lengthened. Inês de Castro, born around 1325 in Galicia, descended from noble but controversial lineage, her family tied to Castilian intrigues. As lady-in-waiting to Constanza, she entered the Portuguese court with quiet elegance, her beauty a whispered legend. Eyes like embers in the candlelight, she moved through halls of power unnoticed at first, but fate's thread wove tighter. What secrets did her arrival conceal? The air thickened with unspoken possibilities. The first glances between Pedro and Inês ignited in the court's daily rhythms, assisting Constanza, shared moments in gardens or chambers. A stolen look, a brushed hand, affection bloomed in secrecy. Constanza, perhaps sensing the shift, remained composed amid her duties. But love's flame grew unchecked. Was it mere infatuation or something deeper, defying royal constraints? Whispers spread like fog through the palace, hinting at a bond that could unravel alliances. As the affair deepened, Pedro and Inês found solace in hidden encounters, notes passed in silence, walks under moonlit skies. Constanza bore Pedro's child, the future Fernando, in 1345, but tragedy struck. She died in childbirth. The court mourned, yet Pedro's grief mingled with relief. Now unbound, his love for Inês emerged from shadows. But freedom came with peril. How would the king react to this open defiance? Tension simmered. With Constanza gone, Pedro openly embraced Inês, installing her as his companion in Coimbra's Santa Clara Palace. They lived as man and wife, though no public marriage rite occurred. Yet Pedro later claimed a secret union. Joy filled their days. Children arrived, symbols of their bond. But the court seethed. Noble factions decried the foreign influence. Was this love a threat to the throne? King Afonso's patience waned. King Afonso IV, alarmed by Inês's growing influence, saw her brother's Castilian ties as a poison to Portugal's sovereignty. Rumours swirled, plots against young Fernando, the legitimate heir. Afonso urged Pedro to remarry royally, but the prince refused, defiant in love. Exile attempts failed. Inês remained. The King's Council pressed for action. What dark decisions brewed in those closed chambers? The divide between father and son widened, ominous. By 1355, pressures mounted unbearably. Afonso, convinced Inês threatened the realm, summoned assassins. Trusted men like Pero Coelho and Alvaro Gonçalves. They rode to Coimbra under cover of night. Inês, sensing doom, pleaded for her children's sake before the king himself, who briefly wavered. But fear prevailed. The deed was done in Quinta das Lágrimas gardens. Blood stained the stones. Did legends of eternal tears begin here? News of Inés's murder shattered Pedro. Rage consumed him. He vowed vengeance against his father. Gathering loyalists, he launched a rebellion. Civil war ravaged Portugal's lands. Battles echoed through valleys, brother against brother, in iron and crimson. Afonso's forces held, but the toll was heavy. Eventually, mediation brought uneasy peace, yet scars lingered deep. What festered in Pedro's heart during those dark months? The throne's shadow grew longer. In 1357, King Afonso IV died, leaving the throne to Pedro. Now Pedro I, he wasted no time pursuing justice or revenge. The assassins had fled to Castile, but Pedro demanded their extradition. Treaties bent under his will. 2 were captured. In a spectacle of cruelty, he ordered their hearts torn out while alive, watching impassively. Whispers called him the Cruel. But was this madness or measured retribution? The court held its breath. Vengeance sated, Pedro turned to immortalizing his love. He declared a secret marriage to Inês in 1361, legitimizing their children. But his obsession peaked, ordering her body's exhumation from its grave. Preserved or not, the corpse was dressed in queenly robes, seated on the throne. Nobles, compelled by royal command, approached to pay homage, kissing the decayed hand. A ghastly ceremony unfolded. What echoes of grief drove this macabre rite? The coronation of Inés's corpse marked a pinnacle of Pedro's grief-fueled madness, or profound devotion. Seated beside her on the throne, he watched as courtiers, pale with terror, fulfilled the ritual. Legends say the body, miraculously preserved, exuded a serene beauty amid decay. Yet historical accounts hint at horror. This act legitimized her queenship posthumously. But at what cost to Pedro's soul? The palace air hung heavy with unspoken dread. Pedro commissioned magnificent tombs at Alcobatza Monastery, Gothic masterpieces of white limestone, carved with scenes from their lives and biblical motifs. His and Inés's effigies lie facing each other, feet supported by dogs symbolizing fidelity. Legend holds they'll rise on Judgment Day to gaze upon one another first. This eternal arrangement speaks of undying love. But does it mask the tragedy's darkness? The stones whisper of loss. The tale of Pedro and Inês transcended their lifetimes, inspiring poets like Luis de Camões in Os Lusíadas, painting a portrait of tragic romance. Operas, plays, and paintings captured the drama, from Inés's plea to the corpse queen. Quinta das Lágrimas, site of her death, draws visitors to its fountain of tears, where legend says her blood flows eternal. But how much is myth? How much truth? The investigative lens reveals layers. Historians debate the exhumation's details. Some accounts suggest embellishment by later chroniclers like Fernão Lopes. Political motives may have amplified the legend to portray Pedro as just yet fearsome. Inés' family influence was real, fueling Afonso's fears of Castilian domination. Yet love's authenticity shines through records. Was the corpse coronation fact, or folklore. Unearthing Sources reveals a blend of horror and humanity, lingering in Portugal's collective memory. Pedro's reign, though marked by this episode, brought stability to Portugal, reforms in justice, earning him the just alongside the cruel. He ruled until 1367, dying naturally, buried beside Inês. Their story echoes in Coimbra's Pedro and Inês Bridge, paths curving apart yet meeting at centre, symbolising separated fates united. Modern interpretations explore psychological depths. What drove such extreme loyalty? The enigma persists, inviting deeper scrutiny. Comparing accounts, Spanish chroniclers emphasise political intrigue, while Portuguese sources romanticise the love. Archaeological evidence at Alcobaça confirms the tomb's orientation, supporting the legend. Inês' assassination site shows natural red algae mistaken for bloodstains, fueling myths. Pedro's brutality, though extreme, aligned with medieval justice norms. Unravelling fact from fiction, we see a king torn by loss. Does this tale warn of love's destructive power? Shadows conceal more. Inês's children fared variably. Some rose to nobility, others faced exile. Their lineage influenced European royalty, blending with houses like Burgundy. Pedro's actions set precedents for posthumous honours in law. Culturally, the story symbolises Portugal's romantic soul, featured in festivals and literature. Yet feminist readings critique Inês as passive victim. Probing deeper, we question power dynamics in medieval love. What untold perspectives lie buried? The inquiry continues. Similar tales of necrophilic devotion appear in history, like Herod's preservation of his wife's body. But Pedro's stands unique in scale. Psychological analysis suggests traumatic grief disorder, manifesting in ritualistic acts. In Portuguese folklore, Inês haunts Quinta das Lágrimas as a spectral figure. Tourism thrives on the romance, yet ethical questions arise about glorifying violence. As we examine, the line between love and obsession blurs. What shadows remain unexplored? Pedro's legacy endures in Portuguese identity, a blend of passion and severity. His justice reforms influence legal systems, while the love story fuels national pride. Inês, elevated from mistress to queen, represents defied conventions. Yet the violence underscores medieval brutality. Contemporary adaptations in film and novels reimagine the narrative. As we reflect, the tale prompts questions on grief's extremes. What lessons hide in this grim history? The candle flickers. Ultimately, the story of Pedro and Inês de Castro serves as a cautionary epic. Love's triumph over death, yet shadowed by vengeance and sorrow. Their tombs stand as eternal witnesses, inviting pilgrims to ponder fate's cruelty. In GrimoryX's lens, we see not just romance, but the human cost of power. As the light fades, one wonders, would you defy the grave for love? The darkness holds its secrets close. Diving into primary sources like the Chronicle of King Pedro reveals a ruler complex, fair in law, fierce in personal matters. Inês's Galician roots amplified xenophobic fears, mirroring broader Iberian tensions. The Corpse Queen episode, while shocking, paralleled other royal eccentricities. Literary analyses link it to Gothic romance tropes. As investigators, we piece together fragments. What missing clues await discovery? The past's veil thins, but never fully lifts. In closing our probe, Pedro and Inês embody history's haunting interplay of love and power. Their saga, etched in stone and story, reminds us that even kings bend to emotion's tyranny. As the candle dims, we leave with unease, questioning where devotion ends and darkness begins. GrimoryX uncovers such tales, peeling back layers of time. Until next, ponder the grave's silence. In the quiet aftermath of Pedro and Inês's tale, love's flame burns eternal against death's chill. Their story, a sombre reminder of passion's price, fades into history's haze. Yet in Alcobasa's halls, their gaze meets across time, a poetic closure to tragedy. As shadows lengthen, we reflect on the fragility of the heart. The light extinguishes, leaving only echoes. If this tale of undying love and grim vengeance stirred your shadows, subscribe to GrimoryX for more dark histories. Like, comment your thoughts below, and share the unease. The next shadow awaits beyond the candle's smoke.